I am more powerful than the Chancellor. I can overthrow him, and together you and I can rule the galaxy. Make things the way we want them to be.
I don't believe what I'm hearing.
Food is now one of the best resources in Stellaris. I have not gone mad. I am not losing my mind. In this video, we are going to dive into why. I do feel the need to say, big farming have not got to me. I am not a stooge of the food lobbyists. Do not worry. This is purely an economic fact of life. Food and farmers absolutely suck, right? When we look at food as a resource, what can we spend it on? Well, basically it has only two uses. We can pay it as upkeep on our pops, and we can sell it in our internal or galactic markets for energy credits to then turn it into something else. But if we have the choice between producing energy directly using technician jobs or growing food with farmers to then sell for cash, it's much more efficient to go with the energy solution. And that is why for years I have had a deep and ever-present hatred of farmers. Some of you have probably heard me talk about that before. I would generally recommend you minimize your farmers to 0 where possible, and instead generate food from star-based buildings like hydroponics bays, which are very, very efficient, taking 1 energy and producing a base of 10 food, or buying it from the market through a monthly trade. Because we normally only need 1 food per pop in our empire, and that is for upkeep. Otherwise, having surplus food is completely useless. I should mention that for hive minds, you need food to build colony ships, so there is one small use case early on in the game, but once you have your colonies up and running, excess food is completely pointless. And that's why food sucks. Or does it? You see, there is a civic in Stellaris called organic reprocessing, allowing us to turn food produced by farmers, or even better, livestock, directly into alloys. The numbers for this have never really been there until now. As of patch 3.9, organic reprocessing has been rebalanced, and it now means food is more efficient to use than minerals. Let's take a quick look at our economy. I'm making 150 alloys a month here, which comes partly from my leaders and the base output, but 130 from jobs. Those jobs are 18 foundry drones here on my forge world, and 4 on my capital. Diving into the numbers, a foundry drone produces 3 alloys base, an additional +1 from buildings. We have got a bunch of modifiers here, basically adding 50% extra output, taking us from 4 alloys up to 6 per pop. That comes in an upkeep of 6 base, +2 from the extra building, and then we're getting a 20% reduction from the foundry designation. But what would happen if I were to switch now to organic reprocessing? Let's make that switch. We'll run the game for a month and then take a look at our economic output. You can see my alloys have just gone up massively. We went from making 130 from jobs up to 160. That is an exactly 25% increase in our alloy output, and that's basically what organic reprocessing does now. It gives you a multiplicative 25% bonus. That is much better than a base plus 25%, and let's dive into the numbers and find out why. So one of my alloy drones here has gone from producing 6 alloys a month up to 7.6. That is because the base output for metallurgists or catalytic drones is 25% higher than it is if you don't take the catalytic reprocessing and make your alloys out of minerals. We're making a base of 3.75 alloys and an additional plus 1.25 alloys from the building. That is a 5 alloy output in total base before we get the 50% bonuses that we've stacked up from our governor, our empire, and so on. 5 is a 25% increase on 4, and because it's increasing our base output, that is multiplicative with all of these other bonuses, making it a much more powerful increase than a regular plus 25% we could get from something like a Forge Focus, which has an additive bonus. The upkeep has also gone up. Instead of costing us 6 minerals plus 2 from the building, we're now paying 9 food plus 3 from the building. And if you're enjoying this video, please farm that like button. But overall, there is actually no difference in our pop efficiency, which is a very, very important thing here. So in order to support these 18 catalytic drones, which have a metallurgist upkeep of 9.6 food per drone, we would need to have 13 farmers. To support the same 18 drones using a mineral upkeep, we would need to have 13 miners. Both of those upkeeps assume you're running the required edict, so either mining subsidies or farming subsidies, so we can get our bonuses to farming or mining output up to a nice juicy 120%. Now, why is that happening? Well, if we take a look at our farmers and our miners, which currently have the same overall bonuses, you'll see that our farmers produce much more food per pop than our miners produce. That is because the base output from miner jobs is so much lower than farmers. A miner will produce 4 minerals, whereas a farmer produces 6 food base. That's a 50% increase. As you put down the special building that is either food processing or mineral purification, you get +1 additional base output. The upgraded version of this, the fully upgraded version, gives +2, and if we get the orbital ring building in as well, that goes even higher. As we further increase our food or mineral output from these special buildings, and that's base, remember, so that means that base also benefits from all of these extra bonuses, the efficiency from a pop perspective of having farmers over miners to produce our alloys does decrease ever so slightly, because we start losing our advantage of 50%. That advantage goes down more and more. But what you will not be losing is the 25% bonus in terms of base alloy output that your catalytic processing will give you. This basically means you should try to build up a food surplus, and then at around year 20, swap into organic reprocessing when you're trying to output alloys, and stick with organic reprocessing for the rest of the game. It is the most effective civic now for increasing alloy output. And alloys are probably the most important resource next to science, because we need alloys to produce fleets. Of course, you are still going to need some minerals, so don't eliminate all of your mineral production. If you're a hive mind, you'll need minerals for research, and if you're a regular empire, you will need minerals in order to make consumer goods for upkeep of your pops and some of your specialist jobs. But pound for pound, food is now a better resource than minerals, which is so insane. I honestly cannot believe I'm saying this, but I now endorse farmers 100%. Catalytic processing now makes farmers one of the best jobs in the game. Catalytic processing is also very, very effective when combined with either the Shattered Ring Origin or Ring Worlds in general, as the Shattered Ring Origin allows us to build an unlimited number of agriculture districts, not just on our capital, but also on the other 2 habitable sections we find here in our home system. On top of that, the scrap miners produce a very small amount of minerals and additional alloys. So basically all of our jobs here can go towards alloy production, or food, aka alloy production, or energy, aka the upkeep of fleets which use alloy production. And when you convert over to a fully functional ring world after you've upgraded from that Shattered Ring, you get access to the agricultural segments, which give you so many possible agriculture drones. Pairing that with industrial segments should provide you with all the alloys you will ever need. I think that the Shattered Ring Origin just got a nice lick of paint thanks to the upgrade to catalytic processing. If you'd like to see me try out a Shattered Ring playthrough, let me know down in the comments below. We could definitely look into that. If you've enjoyed this video on how to maximize your alloy output, but you're not sure how to design your ships in order to spend those alloys, then you need to find out about the most powerful ship class in the game and the best designs we can use for it. If you'd like to know more about cruisers, click the video on screen now.